So I've made a few changes to my FPL team over the last couple of days. It's nothing too drastic, but I still felt I needed to update you all on what I've done. Stay tuned and I'll take you through my changes. So here's where I was previously. Kepa in goal, Botman, Cancelo, Trippier, James, Salah, Martinelli, Saka, Almiron and Kane and Haaland up front. I just had a bit of a brainwave really that I don't think, considering all the options that there are in the striker position, the likes of Mitrovic, Martial, Darwin Núñez, list goes on really, Solanke, players like that. You can fit them all in if you don't go for Harry Kane basically. So I felt get rid of Harry Kane, downgrade him, upgrade Greenwood, get 3 decent strikers and play 3 at the back, because Botman's a great option. I fully think he's a great option, but compared to some of the strikers in the game that I could afford, I think I can do better. So that's exactly what I've done. And as I said, Harry Kane is the player that's made way. I just feel like there's lots of other options in his position. He's expensive, 11.6 million is a lot of money. And yeah, he blocks potential upgrades in my team elsewhere. Whilst Tottenham have a double game week in 20, I do think they've got some difficult fixtures mixed in there as well. So I'm not entirely convinced how well he will do. He's also, I don't know, he just doesn't seem the type to get explosive hauls. He ticks along, I know, 1 goal a game. That's like it's nothing. It's obviously fantastic, but that's the sort of rate that he comes along at. And at 11.6 million, that's obviously a lot of money for someone that doesn't necessarily get those top tier hauls. Another thing is that he's just played a lot of minutes at the World Cup, and I'm worried about his fitness coming back to Tottenham. Obviously missing the penalty in the quarter-final as well, that's going to take a toll on him. And I just think he's going to need some time away to recoup, and I don't think that's what he's going to get. And I think we'll see that reflected in his performance. That's not me saying I think Harry Kane's a bad player, not at all. I just think there's no way that the World Cup that he had won't have an impact on him, both physically and obviously mentally, missing the penalty. So yeah, I think he's worth getting rid of now, and that's exactly what I've done. The first player that I brought in was Alexander Mitrovic. And I don't think he's particularly needs much explaining as to why he's a good option in FPL. I think that's a pretty decent fixture run. Noting what Mitrovic has done against the big teams in the past, I wouldn't bet against him scoring in each of those fixtures, to be honest. He's got the potential to. He's absolutely nailed to start for Fulham. He's probably the first name on their team sheet. He takes the penalties. His expected returns per 90 are exceptional at 0.81. And he's got a double game week in 19. He's one of the top scoring players in FPL this season, and he's only 6.8 million. So I don't really think you can look past Mitrovic. And I think quite a lot of certainly FPL Twitter is going the way that I'm going as well. But yeah, with that double in 19, the stats that he's got, they're actually literally 1.01 expected returns per 90 below Kane. So the two of them are basically the same. And Mitrovic is nearly, 5 million cheaper. So yeah, I just think getting rid of Kane, bringing in Mitrovic and another, which I'll show you in a sec, is the way to go. So Alexander Mitrovic is now in my team. And the second player that I've brought in is Darwin Núñez. Now, Liverpool do not have a double game week like other teams do in this run. Likes of Fulham, Chelsea, Spurs, Man City have got 2. They don't have a double game week, but regardless, I think that's a great fixture run. And the one thing to say about Núñez now is I'm pretty sure he's nailed to start pretty much every game for the coming months anyway, given that Diaz and Jota are still out injured. I think they've still got another at least month or so before they get integrated back in the team. So Núñez has a clear run, I'd say, for at least a month in that Liverpool team. His expected returns per 90 are absolutely off the chain. I think he's right up there, maybe even second place in the league for expected returns per 90 for someone that's been actually playing. There are other players mixed in the stats when you filter it, but obviously they've played less minutes, so their numbers are really heavily inflated. The likes of Martial as well, he's comparable with Núñez in terms of stats per 90, but he's played a lot less football, and that's one of the points I've put here as well. Darwin Núñez actually has a pretty decent injury record. He's only missed 4 days with injury this season, where I would suggest that Martial is a decent option as well, but comparing the two, Martial's been out for 72 days so far this season, whereas Nunes has only missed 4. So I think he probably arguably plays for the better attacking team. With Man United, I think they're 10th for expected goals, whereas Liverpool are 4th. So yeah, Nunes plays for the better attacking team. I think he's probably going to get more minutes, and yeah, his attacking returns stats are absolutely off the chain. So I think for that reason, I simply have to go for Darwin Nunes. And here is how I line up going into game week 17 currently. If didn't mention this on the first screen, but I've used the website DraftHound to build this team. It produces a really nice graphic, as you can see here, and it also has an expected points for each player for each game week coming up. So yeah, you can see under their names there their expected points for the next 3 weeks. And I think I've built myself quite a nice team here. Not too different from what I had before, obviously Darwin and Mitrovic being the 2 main additions. And I'm still thinking about what to do with Botman, because he's not going to play very regularly for me, I don't think. I don't think I've got anything in the bank, but I could still swap him out for someone else. Someone cheaper maybe. I don't know. That's for me to decide going forwards. But here's where I'm sitting at the moment, and I think that's a pretty tasty team. Yeah, really also really like the upside that Reece James provides as well. I haven't seen him in too many drafts, but I'm quietly confident that even if he doesn't get the clean sheets that Chelsea of last season could keep, I still think he can get amongst the attacking returns really well. And with that double game week, I think that's in 20, isn't it? That double game week in 20, I think he's got a really good chance of scoring some points. So yeah, he's my sort of dark horse, because I think he's not going to be massively popular. For some reason, I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe the world will change and everyone buys him. Who knows? But yeah, that's where my team is at the moment. And that concludes the video. Really quick update on my new wildcard team. If you enjoyed it, found it useful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the Goal and Goal channel. I'm going to keep pumping out this FPL content right up until the deadline of Game Week 17. Catch you in the next video.